Save Urgent Save Celtic fan, check it out. This bomb that just dropped. Taking everyone by surprise, Celtic have. Lille Abada playing for Celtic in his place, he loved it more than he expected. I will clarify what is happening in Parque Celta now. I just asked this. If you don't want to miss any updates from Celtic, yes, write to the channel, leave your like, share videos with your young Celtic talent. Rocco, currently in contract negotiations as his contract approaches expiry, has been learning valuable lessons in professionalism and discipline under manager Brendan Rodgers. His father, Rudy Veda, shared insights into Rocco's development journey, particularly a challenging episode during Celtic's pre-season tour of Japan last July. Rodgers had to resolve issues relating to Rocco being late for team meetings, leading to a stint with the B team. Rocco's response to these challenges has been positive. He has demonstrated a commitment to self-improvement and responsibility, both on and off the field. The manager had problems because he was late for meetings a few times, Rudy told Sunsport. Of course, discipline is important and the coach was right. That's why he went to Team B. Rocco knows he needs to be more responsible. But he's a boy and they were small problems. I told him that hard times make strong men. He's been through difficult times and it's about him learning from them, and I believe he will. There is not a human being on earth who has not made a mistake. He is a good boy. After training he sleeps and goes to the gym at night. Even on Monday, after the cup game against Bucky, he had a day off but still went to the gym. He doesn't drink alcohol or go to bars or clubs. He is much stronger physically now than he was 6 months ago. Rocco's recent performances, including a senior goal against Bucky Thistle, appear to be testament to his growing maturity and determination to prove himself. This development is especially crucial as Celtic negotiates its future between the interests of Italian clubs Como and Bologna. Rocco Veda's future will be defined in the coming weeks and months, one way or another.
Welcome back to the Celtic Here YouTube channel. My name's Josh McCafferty, and in this brand new series I'm going to be taking you, the fans, through how every Celtic loan player and how the youth teams get on over each weekend. This series is going to be a weekly one and going to come out each Monday and give you all the latest updates. I run an account on Twitter called Celtic Youth and Loan Updates, Celtic YL Updates, so you can check that out for all the latest updates during the week. And you can also look at CelticHere.com where we produce the latest articles, and not just youth and loan updates, but everything regarding Celtic, so don't forget to check that out. So without further ado then, let's get into it. We're going to start down south where Celtic have a couple of players out on loan. The first of them is Bosun Lawal. He is at Fleetwood now. It's not been the greatest season for them, not been the greatest run for them over the past couple of weeks. They've not won a game in 13. That run was extended at the weekend where they lost out by a goal to nil at home to Portsmouth. Now, big Bosun Lawal, a name a lot of fans will be familiar with, played the full game in this one. He's been using an array of positions this season, ranging from centre half to right back to defensive midfield, and he's not done too badly. But his team have they're on to their third manager now. Charlie Adam is the boss. It started out with Scott Brown, then he went to Lee Johnson. So another loss for Fleetwood. Bosun completing another 90 minutes. He seems a mainstay in that team this season. Also down in England we have Liam Shaw, a name many fans will be familiar with. He initially joined Celtic. It was their first signing actually after they lost the league in the 2020-2021 season, and he's now on loan at Wigan in English League One. They won 1-0 at home to Reading, a club in crisis at the minute, and he played the last kind of 10-15 minutes of that one. He's been getting consistent minutes this season, but is he a player who I think is going to kick on at Celtic when he returns? Probably not. He is on a long-term contract at the club, potentially a permanent exit next summer when he comes back, because it doesn't look like he's someone who could do well for Celtic in the future. Finally, the third player down in England Celtic have out on loan is Sead Haksabanovic. He plays for Stoke, as we know, went out on loan from Celtic in the summer, but he was an unused substitute for them at the weekend. Now, looking a little bit closer to home in Scotland, and this is where things get exciting. Starting with Adam Montgomery, he is out on loan at Motherwell. Celtic are obviously keen to get a lot of their youngsters and fringe players out on loan to teams in Scotland. So Monty is at Motherwell, the Steelmen, and he played up until the 88th, 86th minute in their win over Alloa in the Scottish Cup, and he couldn't have got his Motherwell stint off to a better start. He assisted Blair Spittle for the opener inside 2 minutes. He worked well with Georgie Gent down Motherwell's left-hand side. He looked like he was playing just in front of the left-back, so playing a bit further forward. He was obviously a naturally left-sided player, and he's done pretty well when he's came into the Celtic team in the past, setting up Jota Pittodrie and Ange Postecoglou's first season in charge. But this will be an interesting one to see how Monty gets on, because he was on loan at Fleetwood with Bosanawala, player we talked about earlier, in the first half of the season. Didn't do too well, injury plagued him, a various run of managers, as I mentioned, at Fleetwood. But now he's at Motherwell, looking to gain some consistency and gain some minutes in a team, and so far he's done pretty well, albeit against lower league opposition. Now, another player who is out on loan in Scotland whose performance really excited me and a lot of Celtic fans over the weekend is Kwon. Now, for the first team, the Celtic senior team, he was yet to make a competitive appearance before being sent out on loan to St Mirren a couple of weeks ago. It was a move few really expected, wasn't really reported in the media, but Stephen Robinson seemed delighted to get it over the line, and he made his debut, thrown straight into the starting 11 in St Mirren's first game back after the break against Queen of the South in the Scottish Cup. They won against Marvin Bartley's team by a 0-0, and Kwon played the full game in the midfield. Stephen Robinson, the St Mirren manager, planned to only give him 60, but he was doing so well that he played him on until the 90th. Now, Kwon stood out in this game. He was given man of the match by the BBC in their report of the game. He remained calm yet gritty in the middle of the park. He stood out to many St Mirren fans who said he looked a cut above. So a lot of St Mirren fans very impressed by Kwon, and this comes a bit of a surprise to many Celtic fans, considering he was yet to be given his competitive debut by Brendan Rodgers, and he comes in for the Buddies and pretty much excels. Albeit this was against Queen of the South, so lower league opposition, a bit like Adam Montgomery. The real stuff starts next week for St Mirren when they take on Rangers, so it'll be interesting to see how Kwon gets on and if he can emulate Liam Scales last season when he scored against Celtic's City rivals whilst out on loan at Aberdeen. But some very positive stuff regarding Kwon. Robinson was pleased with him after the match, as were a lot of St Mirren fans, so couldn't have probably got an even better start to his loan in Paisley. Great to see for Kwon. Now, as well, there could have been a couple of more loanees from Celtic in action in Scotland over the weekend. Ben McPherson and Mackenzie Carse are out on loan at Queen's Park. Carse, obviously Celtic B team captain, done really well in the first half of the season for the B side, but Queen's Park's game away at Dunfermline was postponed. For Dunfermline, Ben Summers, who made a couple of appearances for the first team last season, could have played as well, so there was 3 loanees there not in action due to a postponement in a game. In terms of youth players at the club and playing for Celtic, the B team weren't in action at the weekend, but they are playing in the Premier League International Cup during the week. They travelled down to Southampton to take on their under-21s team on Wednesday night, so that is a game to keep an eye on in the competition. Before Celtic have done alright, let's just say they were defeated by West Ham United, but they played out an enthralling clash with Brighton at the Amex a couple of weeks ago. They were defeated 4-3 in the end, but it was a brilliant spectacle, so I would encourage anyone, if you're free on Wednesday night, watch the Southampton game. It will probably be on YouTube, I would assume. Most of the games so far have been, so that is certainly one to watch to see the latest young talent in action. Now, for Celtic, as we know, if you watched the game against Buckie Thistle on Sunday, Celtic won by 5-0, and there were some appearances for some youth players, so let's get into it. First up, Rocco came on in the game. He came on with about just over 25 minutes to go, replacing Kyogo up front. Now, for me, this was very interesting because Rocco, for Ireland, where he has done really well before the Irish youth teams, plays through the middle as a striker, and he played through the middle as a striker here and done really well. He had pace, he had power, he looked very talented and got himself on the score sheet. Fellow academy graduate and Irishman Mikey Johnson done some brilliant work on the right hand side and cut back for Rocco, who couldn't really miss, scoring his first senior goal. Obviously, going into this one, there was a lot of speculation surrounding him and his future contract talks, interest from Italy, but it was then reported that Celtic want to actually open contract talks with him going into the expiration of his deal, which runs out this summer. So that situation is undoubtedly one to keep an eye on. But on the whole, Vata's performance very positive. Still only 18 years of age. Me personally, he's actually the first ever player who scored for Celtic who's younger than me. So I don't know what to make of that. But brilliant stuff for Rocco to come in and get his goal for the first team. I'm sure his dad will be very proud of him. After the game, Brendan Rodgers praised him very much, but he also said he has a lot of work to do and he needs to continue to work to gain the opportunities he's getting. But as we know, Brendan Rodgers is a man who is not afraid to give youth a chance, and he did also in this match with Daniel Kelly, giving him his senior Celtic debut. He came on just after Rocco Vata. Kelly is a midfielder, also 18 years of age. Rodgers very much praised him after the game. left-footed player, naturally left-footed, good physicality, and he's a player Rodgers has liked since he joined in the summer. Obviously, Kelly went on tour with the team when they went to Japan in the summer. He stood out in the B team this season alongside Rocco, who's actually B team's top scorer. But Kelly in midfield has done really well and deserved his opportunity in this one, and hopefully the first of many Celtic appearances for him. Now, there was also an exit from Celtic, a loan exit over the weekend, which kind of flew under the radar. Celtic didn't even make an official post/announcement on it on X or the website, and that is that Johnny Kenny, the Irish striker, Celtic signed from Sligo Rovers a couple of years ago under Ange Postecoglou, has joined Shamrock Rovers on loan for the second year in a row. He spent the entirety of 2023 at the club, winning the Irish top flight title. He scored 6 goals and assisted 4 across the campaign. They were eager to get him back in on loan for 2024. They will have a crack at Europe, so another hopefully full season of action for Kenny over in his homeland. Obviously, many fans will remember him for his double, I believe it was, in a friendly at the beginning of Ange Postecoglou's second season at the helm of Celtic. But Kenny's still just 20, 21 years of age, so a good opportunity for him to go back to Ireland with the top team in the country, arguably, and get some minutes. So that's that for youth and loan Celtic updates over the weekend. Thank you very much for watching this episode. Keep your eye out during the week on CelticAreHere.com and Celtics Are Here social channels for everything regarding Celtic, and you can also follow my account that I run, Celtic Youth and Loan Updates, on X/Twitter. Thank you very much for watching wherever you're watching this, be it Spotify, YouTube, etc. Leave a comment, leave your thoughts down below, like the video, share it with your mates, all that good stuff. I've been Josh McCafferty, this has been Celtics Are Here, and thank you very much for watching.